And this was an orphan dog burned in the fires. He needed a helping hand. I'm Jeff Zeverly. We're going to take you inside the operating room coming up in a live report.
Complete coverage of your neighborhood, the nation, and the world. Dan Cohen, Michelle Medina, and weather with Natasha Stenbach. You're watching News 8 at noon.
Last month's wildfires took a toll on some of the county's most helpless members, the animals.
But now veterinarians are trying to help animals burned by the flames with a procedure usually used on human burn patients. News 8's Jeff Zeverly is live in Sorrento Valley with more on how the procedure works. Jeff.
Dan, so many stories of survival from these wildfires, but you know, when a human gets hurt, they can tell you what happened to them. These animals, they can't talk. They can only show you their wounds, and this dog was so badly burned, it took the best in the business to patch him up.
Patient's name, very ironically, is Bernie.
On the operating table, a dog in need with burns covering almost half his body. Bernie was scorched in the firestorm and turned up at a local shelter looking like this.
He's been doing really, really good. He's just a great patient, tolerates his daily bandage changes really, really well, just with a little bit minor amount of sedation. So I think he's going to do really well. Cosmetically, he may have some scars, but from a function standpoint, I think he's going to do very well.
You're looking at a new state-of-the-art technology used mostly for human burn victims. Bernie's blood is separated to create a platelet gel. His own cells from another part of his body will help Bernie's burns heal faster and limit the risk of infection. All of it donated to an orphan dog desperate for a helping hand.
It makes me feel good. You know, I mean, he won't ever know who I really am, but it doesn't really matter if the end result is that he's better sooner and that he's able to be, you know, having a more functional, normal lifestyle.
Coming up new at 5, we're going to tell you about Bernie's update today. Just talked to the doctor. We're also going to tell you about his future. It sounds like a loving family is going to step forward and adopt him.
Well, Jeff, it's just so heartbreaking to see his condition right now, but you're so grateful that these people have stepped in and are helping him. What will his recovery process be like?
You know, I just asked the doctor. He said that it might be a short road to recovery. 10 days. They're going to take off the bandages, take a look. If it looks good, Bernie goes home.
That sounds great, and we know in the long term the treatment is going to help Bernie, but it's just hard to watch animals in that state, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
All right. Hey, Jeff, thanks very much for that live report.
Got it.
And some very special treatment tonight for an injured animal.
A dog this badly burned is hard to look at, but this is one wildfire survival story you've got to see. I'm Jeff Zeverly. We'll take you inside the operating room coming up on News 8.
The pictures, the stories, your world. This is News 8 at 5.
The recent wildfires left one dog badly burned, wandering around and close to death. That is, until a good Samaritan and some good luck took over. News 8's Jeff Zeverly shows us how the best in the business got together to patch Bernie up.
Stan and Barbara Lee, in many societies, a dog this badly burned would be left for dead, but this is one wildfire survival story to make San Diego proud.
Patient's name, very ironically, is Bernie.
With so many fire victims escaping just steps in front of the flames, this is one dog that got left behind.
He was one of the more extensive, Amy, can I get some 3 monochrome, please? He was one of the more extensive burn victims that we saw.
A good Samaritan rescued Bernie from the fire and dropped him off at a shelter. Shaking and nearly dead, half of Bernie's body was burned.
He's been doing really, really good. He's just a great patient, tolerates his daily bandage changes really, really well.
An orphan dog with no one to pay his bills. This is state-of-the-art technology, and today it's on the house.
It makes me feel good. You know, I mean, he won't ever know who I really am, but it doesn't really matter.
But what does is a full recovery that's fast and safe from infection.
It's very exciting because it's a new technology.
It's a new and expensive procedure, usually only used on human burn victims. But some major medical companies teamed up to make one huge dog donation. It works like this. Bernie's blood is spun in a centrifuge. His platelets and white blood cells are isolated.
Now I'm applying these concentrated platelets.
That gel is then applied to the brunt of the burn so that Bernie can heal in a hurry.
I can see that area where we sprayed in the beginning is gelling.
A middle-aged dog given a new name and life. by strangers. We'd love to comfort Bernie with a pat on the head, but he's recovering in a sterile environment. Here's the good news. In 10 days, those bandages come off, and if everything looks good, he heads home. Barbara Lee.
Gotta love that face. Now, because Bernie was displaced by the fire and his original owner didn't claim him, a new family is stepping forward to adopt Bernie and provide a loving home.
That was the cutest
You can't
little
resist
face.
that face, can you?
Oh
He looks like he's ready for
gosh.
some love, too.
Yeah.